Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin. We are recording this on the night of March 30th, 2022, after a tough Celtics loss to the Miami Heat. A couple other things on the agenda today as well, but really, I think this game is the most important. So any opening thoughts?
Well, my high was Tice. I thought
he and Horford.
I thought he played very, very well. He only played 17 minutes.
Yeah,
and I thought he played very well.
Yeah, it was the Tice game, 6 for 6.
Yeah.
I thought he should have played well more as well.
But yeah, I agree.
He was all right. Horford,
yeah.
I didn't think it was great. I thought like for a while they had kind of Tice in for an extended period. I thought they'd kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
I thought he should have played more in the first half.
Yeah. And I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it was when Adebayo wasn't in. I don't know. I actually don't know, even remember who was on the floor for big men at the time, but I thought he played spectacularly. He really added to the team tonight. What was your high?
That was also my high.
Yeah. My low for the game was the Jays slowing down of the offense. Again, like dribbling at the top of the key. I just thought when we were passing, the game flowed so much better. And then we would go back to, them bringing the ball up and somewhat slow, slowing the offense down. I mean, Scal even made a couple comments during I don't know who you were watching, but Scal made a couple of comments. And he even said, you got to get passing. So that was my low. I felt like at moments they started to go back into the ISO sort of, and that slowed the play down.
My low is actually the opposite. I'll disagree with you a little here because my low was the offense for everybody else. I mean, other than Tice, who was, great for but he scored all his points in like a 10-minute stretch. There's no one else that can score. Nobody created anything besides Jalen and Jason. Smart was abysmal. I mean, offensively, he had that stretch where a couple really good passes and kind of on the break, but oh my goodness,
shooting, he was abysmal.
Bad shots.
Yeah,
just didn't. I don't know. Just wasn't conducting traffic well. I thought, other than again fast break, he was great, but half court offense. I mean, he didn't.
But I don't think people were. I don't think people were open. And I think that goes back to what I sort of blame Jason and Jalen, their movement with the ball, dishing it, or, their movement off the ball is what somewhat opens and draws the defense. And then someone else is open. And they had moments where they were doing it. The ball was moving and somebody would get a great open shot, or they would get a great open shot in the lane. And when they are dribbling at the top of the key, it just doesn't seem to happen. I mean, Jalen dribbles forever at times, sometimes a good shot, sometimes not, but the offense slows so much. And he's going to shoot 90% of the time. So the rest of the team doesn't seem to move. And then same thing. Off the ball, Jason Tatum started moving a little bit and got a couple passes in the lane that were spectacular. He brings the ball down, he's dribbling down, and the whole offense slows down. And they're double or triple teaming him. He's trying to get away, but it just slows everything down. So I just think that, one, they should never bring the ball up. 90% of the time, Derek White or Marcus Smart should bring the ball up. I'd even take Al Horford over them, bringing the ball up at times, because at least he can pass. But Tatum had some terrible passes out of the double and triple team. So I just don't think they should be at the point. Once the other team scores, they just shouldn't be at the point.
Yeah, I just think it's hard to justify that when there's just no other offense with a good defensive half court team like Miami.
Yeah,
none of these guys unless Jason, again, I mean, I agree that they can move more, but if they're not the ones creating the play, we're dead in the water. Like there's no.
Well, I think that
There's-
Derek White is a good passer. I think
Yeah,
that we have
he has an
he is a
occasional
good
drive.
passer, and Marcus can be a good passer. But I just think it's important for them to move more off the ball and to draw more people. And that's the problem, is even when
but
Jason Tatum
draw to
draws people,
what?
his passes are terrible. If you went back to the highlights of Jason Tatum passing out of his 2-on-3, when he was guarded by 2, sometimes 3 people at the top, it's like this lob over to the corner.
Yeah.
One time I think I saw Grant Williams really open in his spot and he missed. You're right, he missed. But very rarely were they wide open for shots.
But if
is
we
that on
Miami,
them?
If we want to get to Miami, if you have a Hero, a Robinson, a Strus, it's a non-issue. You pass them the ball, they hit shots.
Although tonight they weren't as
especially on the
5 for 14. Hero wasn't great tonight. I think that saved us, because if those guys were hitting, we would have. It would have been a blowout. And did you notice that Robinson didn't start? Because last time we played him, he did not. The one game,
the one we let go. Of course,
that was my first thing. Strus, we gave him up. Sad face.
Unbelievable.
What? He's good, and he's a good defender. Like, he defends well. But last time we played the Heat, I didn't think Duncan Robinson had a very good game either. So maybe it's just teams
are also kind of figuring him out. All he can do is shoot.
Yeah.
You stick one guy on him.
2 for 5. He only played 15 minutes, Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
2 for 5 overall. And Tyler Hero was 5 for 14. So, at times he looked better than others, but yeah.
But I'm saying having those players that can make shots off a catch, like Grant Williams in the corner. Okay. And even as of late, it's not been what it was.
No, he has not.
Pritchard didn't really do much.
Well, he shot twice, right? How many times?
3, 1 for 3.
Oh, was he? Yeah. I don't even think I saw the other one.
Derek White, again, off the dribble. Derek White's good, but he's not a catch and shoot guy. That's not like we don't have. There's no one that can catch and shoot. Nobody. Yeah. And what do you do? I just don't. I don't think.
I think it had to be done at the beginning of the season. Obviously, we didn't have Derek White, but there are moments when the ball moves incredibly well, and we still missed the shot, but it was just a great wide open shot, because we passed a couple times, too many times, but we passed well. And then the shot, there's an open shot. And so it can be done. Whether we make it or not, that is another issue. But I just don't think we had as many near the end open shots. The driving down the lane 1-on-4 is just not going to lead to
the play
success.
At the end of the game.
It was Tatum's play in the middle, and then Jalen had done it. Totally got, blocked completely his time. But 1-on-4, that's our best. It's just and we weren't hitting the threes at that point, so it's kind of like, and they're a good defending team. They're a good team. They were number 1 in the East almost the whole season. They're a great, they're a great team. So I think in some ways it's good for us, good for the team to go back. And, we've had some easy games. We've been ahead most of the time. I think it's good to look at tape and say, what do we need to change? And Rob Williams was missed, right?
Yeah, of course.
His blocks, his offense, if Tice can get
17 and 12 and 8 assists,
if Tice can get fed in there and have as many baskets inside as he did, can you imagine Rob Williams being fed? It would have been a totally different game. So he's a huge loss on a team like this. So, but anyway, hey, it was close. We hung in there the whole way, and they've got some things to work on.
Yeah, the big question still is end of the game. All
right,
what are you gonna do?
You look at the other team and you're like, if this is close. Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry.
It's not that Tatum and Brown were great at the end, but there were a couple times. There's one play at the end, they double Tatum, pass it out, Derek White's open in the corner, miss. I mean, Jason Tate
Yeah.
or Jaylen Brown missed a couple layups that he should have hit. I mean, we missed the layup. Grant Williams had that layup that just missed, like,
well, there
wide
were
open.
a couple close ones that, yes, if they had fallen, it would have been at least a tighter game. I agree. Derek White had one in there where he was pretty close to. Just kind of in and out and not quite. But the other thing about our offense as well is, I mean, Tatum and Brown don't play well together. They don't pass well to each other. They don't open each other up. There's just no flow in their offense together. Really, there isn't. It's either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. Occasionally they'll get the good pass to each other, but for the most part, you look at Lowry and Adebayo, different positions, but they got the pick and roll. They pass to each other. The chemistry between the 5 players in Miami passing to each other. And you can talk about the quality of players if you want to, but they just move. They move off the ball well. They pick and roll well. They pass well. They just seem to move the ball better than we do.
Yeah. And man, Kyle, every time they needed a bucket, Kyle Lowry hit a 3. Every time they needed a bucket off to the left.
And I just kept thinking, if this is a tight game, I'm betting on Kyle Lowry hitting it over one of us.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, well, there's no way. So I think the writing was on the wall kind of early. I was like, oh no.
I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a good team. And we needed that. We needed it probably now. They have
it was close.
They have games to work on. I mean,
I don't write us off based on that performance at all.
No. And isn't it luck of the draw, depending on who gets who, right? You're in the first round.
Yeah.
You beat that. I mean,
matchups.
You might not ever see the Heat again. You never know.
This is one of the more fun NBA seasons we had in a while. Last year was good too, but I don't know who's going to the finals this year. No idea.
Yeah. Especially in the East.
Conference. Out of either conference. I don't know who's coming out of the West.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. It's funny how well we played the West. Which you could face some of those people in the instead of who we have to face.
100% agree.
And now, the Nets. I'm still paranoid about the Nets.
So in some other news, I mean, from the sound of it today, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up, but people were, by the reports, Robert Williams could be back by the second round of the playoffs.
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's good. Who knows how effective? See,
I'll take him 15 minutes a game. If he could come in, even if he was a little out of shape, I'll take him.
Not even
15 minutes.
It's not out of shape for me. It's if he's not athletic, if he doesn't have the athleticism, how much is he really giving you? If he can't move he's not. Even
like a third of his athleticism out jumps Tice and Al Horford.
I mean, that's
right.
True, but
couple, I agree. I don't think we can bank on him at the end because you're right.
You just don't know what he'll give you, even if he comes back.
Yeah.
The other news I found interesting. I just heard this during the game. Apparently, so Toronto has changed their vaccine rules. And now unvaccinated players cannot play in Toronto. And apparently the Celtics have some of these. And coincidentally, if you'll remember, Monday, who didn't play in Toronto? Tatum, Brown, Horford, Rob Williams. Obviously Rob Williams. But I believe so. I believe confirmed Tatum is vaccinated.
Yeah.
So that leaves Horford and Brown.
So is that just like Twitter? Do we have nobody's confirmed that though, right?
No, I mean
that they aren't vaccinated. Yeah.
I'm pretty confirmed that we have players that are not vaccinated. So apparently someone reached out and it was the Celtics and the Sixers would not confirm that all their players are vaccinated.
Yeah.
So if the cards fall that way, we could have a Kyrie Irving situation where I don't know, maybe Jaylen Brown can't play away games. That puts quite the wrinkle in an already crazy.
Although I take Toronto, even missing one or two people. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, me too. I mean, over,
I'm sort of like, if we have to play Toronto, yeah. I would take Toronto.
I'd take if Toronto would Tatum with one hand.
See
I'd play
like
over
right
Brooklyn.
now where the standings are. Well, I don't think they put this win in yet. Oh yeah, they did. So where is Toronto right now? Raptors. Oh yeah, they're sixth. So we could definitely face
the
Toronto.
Cards could fall
depending
that way.
on how this goes, and it's so close. Yep. We could end up playing
the Cards
Toronto.
could fall that way. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, the first 6 are within 4 games. So.
Yep.
Yeah. And we had one of the hardest schedules, I guess, like you said before. So very interesting.
And they come down to the wire.
Wow. And why just now? Have they had an uptick or something?
Yeah. None of this makes any sense anymore.
Like end of the season?
I mean, it's not just now. I don't know. I don't know exactly when they changed it. I think people are just kind of realizing like, oh, unless you're like a Raptors reporter, you're not gonna be like, oh, let's check the playoff now. Like,
interesting.
And I mean, obviously Toronto just kind of got into the legit playoff picture. So
yeah,
I think people are just kind of coming to this realization that it could be an issue.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'd still, even if you told me
Nets are at 8.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to be able to push to 6, but
I don't know. Well,
4 games, they're 4 games back.
Yeah. How many games they have left?
6 to go. I mean,
I guess
Raptors Raptors would really have to collapse.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? My vote is that we lose a few games and we end up the 4-5. How about that?
Well, that's where we are right now.
We're 3.
We're at
even
4
with the loss.
On my list.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Because maybe they haven't updated this.
I mean, technically we're tied.
They
with
haven't
the
updated it.
Sixers.
Yes, they haven't updated it. You're right. Because it's 48-20. I mean 47.
47-30. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Sixers are 46-29. So they have 1 less win and 1 less loss. But technically that puts
so we would be 4th. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting. And we'll see the Bulls right before anyway. So
I'd take the Bulls too. I mean, I think they're tough, but I think
yeah, I agree. I think we could beat the Bulls.
I kind of like the Hawks is really what I'd like. Are they out yet?
The Hawks, no, they're 10.
I'd like the Hawks in the first round.
Hawks always play us tough. I'd rather play Cleveland. Cleveland.
You think? Yeah, they played us tough.
Cleveland would be easy.
And it's so funny because I've been watching all the scores in the Pistons. Have you been watching?
Yeah, they gave a tough game to the Nets.
Yeah.
It's our team.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. Hanging in there. I like it.
Hanging in there. They're almost tied for dead last in the East still,
but like every game is pretty close.
I know they're tough.
Yeah.
Bad boy Pistons. The bad boys.
Funny. Yeah.
It's all
very funny. All right, that's about all I have. What are your
much else.
thoughts? Yeah, I just wanted to touch base after. I thought this was a big game. This showed
game.
a lot.
Good game to
yeah. Good team. They're a good team, and I think
the big question
we're gonna have to make some changes.
Can we close games? It's this question of the season. We've gone on this big win streak, but we've crushed everybody.
Yeah.
Close game. The only close game against good team that we really closed was Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Closed that one. Every other game's kind of been a blowout at the end. No, we haven't had any that come down to the wire.
Yeah.
Like
I said, I think that's
and 15 points in the fourth quarter is not going to cut it. We scored 15 points in the fourth quarter.
No, I'd like to go back and watch the fourth quarter. And again, I just think our offense is non-existent. And I agree. The other people, Grant and other people were not making shots that they should have made. But it's just, I think our ball movement is just terrible at times. I don't know. And I cringe every time I see Tatum slowly dribbling up the middle of the court, bringing the ball up. I do. Very rarely, unless he's hot at 3, which he was not.
No,
If he's
0 for 5.
shooting really well, or maybe we have, being not defended as well he was tonight. I just cringe every time he slowly dribbles up to his eyeballs down the court. Highest dribble ever.
Yeah. I don't think he or Jalen took any really ill-advised shots tonight, at least.
I just think
maybe bad movement, but
yeah.
Until the
I just
last
think
couple...
when we were up 4 or 5, it seems like suddenly the threes go up, 3-point shots, which we weren't doing. That's how we got up 4 or 5 points. We had better passing, just better plays. And then they miss a couple of those, and then a couple drives 1-on-4, which drove me crazy.
Yes,
Again, they were not terrible.
At the very end.
Yeah. Jalen had a couple earlier in the game too, where, they were just playing some type of zone where they were letting us have the 3 because they're a smart team, and we weren't shooting well at the 3 at the end there.
I mean, so there's just no world where Smart should lead our team in 3-point attempts, going 3 for 10.
Yeah.
I thought he was so bad tonight, offensively.
I think defensively he played well.
Oh, of course.
And he still had,
offensively. Defensively, he's always outstanding, and he still had.
He did lose the ball 6 times. He turned over.
Yes, he had some. I mean, Smart's. You're gonna get that from Smart. Even when he plays bad, he's gonna make some spectacular plays. Yes. But I just thought, him more than anyone.
Heart.
Yeah, I mean, Smart's always been my favorite, but
he's my favorite too.
Like contested threes, Smart should never take a contested 3. Just give it to Tatum and have him chuck it up. You're just gonna I thought he was so frustrating offensively.
His own offense
killed me.
Even driving in a couple times,
ill-advised. Again, he had a couple. I mean, we missed a lot of shots we should have hit today.
Yes, we just were shooting poorly. We went back down 29% at 3.
Yeah, but it wasn't even 3. Again, a couple just layups. Right at the basket where we just missed shots. Grant had one really bad layup. Jaylen Brown had a couple. Smart had a couple kind of mid-range floaters. Derek White.
And you know what? I just want to, the yelling at the refs. What is that all about? Doesn't it seem like every player now is in the face of the refs? Grant Williams? What are you doing? I don't know how they put up with it. Constant. Every player, every play is talking to them. I think there should be a new rule where they say, you know what? You can't talk to me after the plays go. Yeah. It's irritating, and it takes them out of the plays, and I wait and I watch Tatum, especially not quite as bad tonight, but who's the last one up for defense? The person complaining to the ref after they think they've gotten fouled. And then a team like the Heat are up the court quickly, and we're missing our 5th, defender coming up.
Tatum does do that a lot. Trails.
Drives me crazy. It's like, you just missed the shot. Get up there and play some good defense, please. But the talking to the refs, the yapping at them.
Although again, to play devil's advocate, the talking doesn't annoy me too, but I thought the refs were not great tonight.
Both sides, though. I don't think they're weird calls. I mean, again, I don't think we lost the game because of the refs.
We just
I
missed
think
shots.
At the very beginning, they started calling these weird fouls that they in other games they wouldn't call at all. Kind of. I thought it was strange. Almost like they weren't going to allow the game in the beginning to get out of hand. We're going to call it a little tighter just because we're getting near playoffs. That's the feeling I sort of got. And then they were letting them, inside hack away. Both teams. Then they weren't calling that, but you were calling some weird. It was an odd game as far as fouls, but it was pretty even. I mean, they had 25 foul shots and we had 23. So, I mean, it's not like anybody was really on the line that much. Good team. I think we just have to remember this is a good team. Number 1 in the East for a long time. So,
can we close games?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. So, anyway, it was a fun game.
Went down to it. Yeah.
I like the close games better than the blowouts, I have to say. I like a close game. And we needed one. We got to figure out what we're going to do. You're right.
Yeah.
How are we going to close this? Hopefully they look at the 4th quarter and say, let's not do this again. That's it. That's all I have.
I just yawned, so it's time to wrap up.
Time for bed. So I am gone this weekend. So
Florida
I'll miss
again.
Going to Florida.
We're like the traveling duo.
I am. Oh, well, you're in South America, but Florida's kind of south.
You've been to Florida twice, Nashville once.
Yeah.
Out and about.
So, going to see Kathy and Joe's new house. Looking forward to it.
Sweet. Can you see Rory?
Yeah, so we're gonna meet Rory. Yeah. We gave him 3 options. We're going to a polo match. First time ever.
What?
Beware the steaming divot. Nope, like polo.
That's big here too, actually.
So never been. Funny. So I guess it's very close to where they live. So my first polo match. Got to get a fancy hat.
Yeah, I was about to say, got to dress like the guy.
I don't have to dress up. No. So so we're gonna do that. So it should be fun. But anyway, so I won't be around to chat, but I think we should handily win the next 2 games. Otherwise, I'm very worried about us. That's all I have to say. If we don't beat the Wizards and the Pacers, I don't,
Trouble's a brewing.
Yes. So there's a whole different conversation we'll have to have when I get back, like what's going on. Yeah. And I think Rob Williams is important, but not so important that we shouldn't handily win these 2 teams. We should beat them. So I'll catch up with you when I get back. All right.
Sounds good. Well, you can catch us on all platforms as always at Shamrock Talk Pod, at Shamrock Talk on YouTube, Facebook, worldwide. Catch me at Mr. Caniac, and we'll see you next time.
Adios.